Hello, ladies. Welcome back to the channel and welcome if this is your first time joining us. Just make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you here as often as possible. So make sure you do all of those things so you can keep up with me. And also, if you want to have a one-on-one goddess check-in, all the information to contact me directly is in the description below. So you can just check that out. And also, I have my feminine online dating course for you ladies who want to date better and get better men online, and just really helping you all out with that. So all of that information is in the description. I just wanted to put it out here first because I feel like I don't say it enough. I mean, I never say like, comment, and subscribe when I'm on live because I just always forget, but I just wanted to say it first before we even get into everything. And yeah, so today's topic, how to become more intriguing during your dates. Now, this is a big thing because, like I always say, this comes up so much. And hey girly, hey girls, so happy you were able to make it. Because of you, I actually put out the notice before, and I am going to remember to do that every single time. So thank you so much for letting me know and always supporting. Love you for that. Thank you. Hey Bree, hi. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Okay, so we can kind of get started since there are people here already. So I wrote things down, so that's why I'm always looking over here. So the topic is how to become more intriguing during your dates. This is important because there are so many women who I see that get to date so many people and so many great guys, but it doesn't work out because on the date, they don't catch the guy's attention. And this is a big thing because I don't want you ladies wasting your time and then going out with these guys who probably are great and probably what you're looking for, and then he never calls you back or never asks for a second date or doesn't get anywhere with you. So I wanted to kind of make this video because that is a lot of the issues that I see. Another big thing that will happen if you do not know how to intrigue a man or even know what to talk about when you're on these dates, a lot of women, they will typically do this thing that will give them a result they really don't want. So most women who do not have anything really to talk about on dates, they actually end up talking more about sex. And this actually happens more often than you would think. I mean, I think it's just mostly like younger women, but even older women will do it too, where they're like, oh, I like this guy, I don't know what to talk about, so then they'll just like start bringing up sexual things like early on in the day. And that's where things get destructive, because if you start talking about sex, then he's going to expect it from you, and you may not want to do that with him or not, or maybe he's going to be like, okay, this can be like a casual hookup kind of thing. So I want you ladies to avoid all of that, because that's not actually going to get you the result that you want. If you are dating for marriage or for something serious, you want to stay away from those conversations and start talking about the things that I'm going to bring up here. Another thing that some ladies may do, because they don't have anything really to talk about, is they will start saying that they will start overly complimenting the guy. Now, I am not one to compliment anybody that is a male. If I'm on a date with him, I'm just not a complimenter. I like to be complimented. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh my God, you look so good, you're so attractive, or anything like that. But a lot of women do this and they think it's going to make the guy like him. But men don't necessarily take compliments the same way women take them. So if you think like complimenting him is going to make him feel like really good inside, it's actually not. A lot of the ways you can compliment him is by saying, oh, thank you so much for taking me to this nice place. Just kind of compliment him on the things that he's doing for you that you like. But if you're overly complimenting him on his looks or like like who he is and you're so happy to be with him, then that's where it gets, a little more cringe. And I wouldn't suggest doing that. So those are the first two things I would say to stay away from, is overly complimenting him and also talking about sex because you have nothing else to talk about. Now, you may be one of those people who like to talk about that, but I'm telling you, it's not going to get you the results you want. So you're better off not doing it. What you should be doing, what you should be talking about is a little more. Oh, there's a little more going on. Love prevails. Thank you so much for taking it into consideration. Yes, always. I love a good idea. I will always take a good idea. Hey, Karina. Hi, Jasmine. Hi, good afternoon. He is trying to invite you to his house for the first time when you're talking to him. Um, don't go. That's number one. I definitely would say, yeah, we don't know each other that well, so I would much rather go to like dinner or something like that. Like, just push it like we don't know each other that well, so I'm not gonna go hang out in your house. That's what I would say. Okay, so the first things first, to stop being boring so you can become more intriguing, you have to have things going on in your life, aka you need some hobbies. For some strange reason, I find there are so many less women with hobbies than men. There are men who have literally like $10,000, $20,000 a month hobbies. And there are women that just sit at home, scroll on their phone, and literally do nothing but like maybe go to dinner or go out with their friends and like maybe party a little bit and then come home, go to work. And like that's their routine. They're so like in the house, bored, don't have anything really fun going on. And you need a hobby. You need something that you do that excites you, that makes you feel young again, right? That brings that childlike energy out of you. And the reason why you want to do this is because this is what's going to make you interesting. And if you don't know what you like, this is a time for you to try out a bunch of different things that you may like. So for me right now, for the last 2 weeks, I've been going to Pilates. Now, I always done yoga and mat Pilates, but I just was like, all right, let me go and give this class, like a reformer class, a chance, because my sister-in-law was visiting from Germany. So I was like, okay, let's just like go and do like an activity together. And we ended up signing up for Pilates together, me, her, and my sister. So we ended up doing that, and I absolutely love Pilates. I'm just like, wow, this has been missing in my routine, and I'm so in love. So I added that. For the whole summer, I have been playing golf. That has been a huge thing in my life that I didn't know that I would love so much, but I have an instructor, and I play with him, and also I play with my husband, and golf has been like a new thing that I picked up. Like I said, a lot of the different things, you may not have done them before, but if you start trying them, you might find that this may be your thing. Like I did, like, I think like maybe the first year I met my husband, we played tennis a little bit, and I realized tennis is not my thing. It's just not for me. I'm not good at it. I don't think I'm going to get good at it. So I don't do tennis. I ride bikes with my husband. I like to do that. So there are certain hobbies that I like to do that is individual, and also I like to do it with my family. That is what you're supposed to do, just so you can figure out what it is that you like and what you dislike, because a lot of the times we're just like doing nothing and not realizing, oh my god, this is something I really like. Another thing that I was doing, especially during COVID, when it was the lockdowns, me and my sister and my niece, we would go roller skating, and that was really fun. And we would go roller skating down the beach, right? And that was really fun and like interactive. So find something that you actually find like fun and interesting, because that is going to build up who you are. And also you're going to be talking about these things when you speak with this guy, because he's going to ask you, what do you like to do? And if you don't have a response of like something you like to do, and it could be anything, like it doesn't even have to be like something active. It could actually be like you like to go to museums, you like to, go see plays, you like to go to shows, Broadway shows, musicals, you're interested in art. There are so many different hobbies that you can grow to like and love. And that's going to make you even more interesting as a person, because he's going to say, oh, you're a lot deeper. You know more about a lot more things. You're more interested in life and living it. And it also gives you like a childlike energy, which men love. Not saying men love children, but I'm saying like they like the energy of like, oh, I'm having fun. I'm doing something fun. So you seem more fun. Um, let's see, with Bree. Right now, I only work out 3 times a week. I want to join Pilates. Don't know if I'll faint though. Pilates has, so I think you should definitely try it. I think my husband's even gonna try it because he has an injury right now, so he can't lift the way that he wants to. And I'm like, maybe you should try Pilates because I think it will be, anyways. But I would definitely say you should try it. They usually have like a try pass or whatever where you can see like if it's something that you would like, and they have levels to the class. So I would just say go to like a basic reformer class and see, if it's for you. I will definitely say this Pilates is more of a woman thing. So you're not going to go in there and meet like men or anything, but it is going to be something that is going to be great for your body. And it's so low impact. Like literally every time it's done, I'm like, that was it. That was the whole workout. And then the next day I'm like sore as ever. And I'm like, oh my God, that was like a killer workout. Like right now I have an injury for like on my inner thigh, like my groin area. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sad because I like can't run. I can't do Pilates. I can't go to gym. Like I'm so much in pain. But I think like Pilates is really, really great for like even those kind of injuries where you're like, okay, I don't know how this is going to turn out. They usually will always give you modifications, and they ask you before a class, like, are you dealing with the injury? Do you have like anything that you want to stay away from or you want to like attack more? So yeah, give it a try and definitely check it out. I have a golf club and of course 5 minutes away from me, but there's so many men. So with the golf club, you should definitely take a lesson. That's how I started. So my husband already knows how to play golf, but my husband is not the great teacher to me. He gets a little more impatient with me. And I just wanted a professional, and because I didn't want to wait on my husband. But I would definitely say just hire an instructor. And that way you're actually learning and you have a person to play with and someone who's going to correct you. And that way you have someone there with you and they know like you're picking it up. And then when you go to, the lounge or the restaurant there after, you get to talk to people and they know like, oh, you just had a lesson, and they'll ask you about it. So it becomes more of a camaraderie where you're not feeling like weird about being there because they see that you have an instructor and you're learning. So that's a great way in. That's how I got in, basically, just like, okay, I have an instructor and I see him like once a week, and he plays with me. We go to the driving range, we go putting, we go chipping. Like he's there with me teaching me. And then when I go and like want to have lunch after or something like that, then I could talk to people who are there and they like, oh, I saw you were doing good or something like that. Because that's what people will do, because they're watching you. Because I mean, any woman on the golf course, they're gonna see you and then they're gonna start talking to you because they're like, oh, I saw that you're practicing, you're learning. They'll ask you questions. So definitely try that. I also had to learn hobbies don't have to be male centered. Just find genuine interest, and then found male centered hobbies I genuinely enjoyed, get get to be in the spaces. So true. It does not have to be, like I said, Pilates is definitely not a male centered thing. Roller skating is not. A lot of the things that I do are not. I think golf is, obviously, but golf is great. I mean, if you guys know golf, like I'm obsessed. Like I'm one of those people that's like practicing my swing because I'm like, I want to get so good. But there are so many other hobbies that I like to do that have nothing to do with men. I am an avid reader and I like am obsessed with reading. Like this summer I read like 6 fictional books, like the whole summer, and a majority of them I was reading them like towards the end of the summer because I've just been obsessed with. I'm obsessed with romance novels. I mean, I love like romance novels more than any other genre of books that are fiction, and I'm like I can devour them like in a day or two. So these are like really like my own hobby that I have. And so it's like find something that you enjoy. And you can do this by thinking about the things that you enjoyed when you were younger. And that way you can actually like just say, let me pick that back up again and see if I still enjoy it. And then, look to what other people are doing and see if that's something that you may enjoy as well. Love prevails. I want to hit the golf course, but concerned about the cost. So it is costly. Sometimes it depends about if you're going to a private or a public course. So like I said, if you already know how to play, then it doesn't matter. But if you don't know how to play and you want instruction, or or you're a little rusty and you want to get somebody, you can go, because tea times, if it's public, tea times are going to cost about like 20 to 30 to $40. It's not that expensive just to get a tea time. But the instructor could cost from like $75 to $200. It just depends if they're a PGA, like a professional, or if they're just good and they're playing on the side. It really depends. And then also, like, you can ask some of your friends, if you know anybody, if they know how to play golf, if they want to play with you, because the tee times are not that expensive. And then also you want to go someplace where you can rent clubs if you don't have some on your own. So the cost adds up if you're just like beginning. But if you've already been playing and you have clubs, all you're paying for is the tee time, and that's not that expensive. Now, if you go to like a private one, so like over here we have like the Trump golf course, and that tee time can run from like $100 to $200. So it just depends if you're going to a public course or a private course. So yeah, it could be expensive though. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a little more expensive, but I think it's more expensive to start. And then once you're in and you have everything that you need, you're just buying balls. Maybe if you're losing them like me, where they're falling in the lake. Um, yeah, so that could happen. But yeah, you're paying for the balls, the clubs, and then your tea time. So it's expensive to begin with, but then it kind of like levels itself out after. But an instructor in the beginning is good if you're not that good, or if you need like brushing up, or if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, I'm so joining next week. Yeah, for sure. Give it a try. I know, like for us, when I tried Pilates, it was 3 classes for $59 where I live. So it wasn't expensive at all for 3 classes. I signed up to learn pickleball. I currently do cardio, dance 3 times a week, and love walking trails. That is, yes, I love cardio dancing. That is my pastime. So growing up, little side story, I was actually a ballerina. I danced ballet like from childhood all the way till I was a senior in high school, and I danced with the Boston Ballet. So I love dance. I love like ballet. I love hip hop. I love jazz. I just love dance. So that is a great cardio, and it's very feminine. So that is, a very like a plus when you meet people and you tell them like, oh, I dance and stuff like that. So that's really fun. Pickleball is actually really fun. It's very, very popular. There are so many pickleball clubs that are opening up. There's one like down the street. There's another one. There's one in my neighborhood that just opened up. Another one in my neighborhood that is opening up, I think, by the beginning of next month. And it's also a social club and a pickleball thing. I'm not into pickleball. I See, I wasn't into tennis, so I never really gave pickleball like a fair shot. But right now I'm in my golf era, so I'm like, let me just keep my golf up, and then if I pick up pickleball like down the road, then maybe I'll pick it up. But I do love like the social clubs that are opening up around it. I think that's really cool. So if you are interested in pickleball, there are so many social clubs that are popping up now around it, and you can meet like so many people there, and it's just fun to play. Yes, book recommendations, please. Okay, I'm gonna give you a book recommendation like after this so I can remember. So let me book recs. I will let you know, like, after I go through this, because we will be stuck on books for like the whole video. So, Nicole, going on the fourth date tonight, how to ask about his ideal lifestyle to see if he is compatible with mine. So you gotta always already see the kind of lifestyle that he's living now. And it's not necessarily that he has to drive the same car that you want him to drive or anything like that, but you have to kind of see like where his like mindset is, because men and women want different things. Obviously, we're not really going to want the same things. So you have to see if he can afford the lifestyle that you want, not necessarily if he is envisioning that kind of lifestyle. Like my husband doesn't envision the lifestyle that we live at all. Like he just can afford it, right? So it's not, because men don't kind of look at it that way. As long as they have what they want around them, they could care less. So for you, especially, all you have to see is if he can afford it. So if you are dating him and he already owns a house, he has a car, he has a great career or business, is he generous? Is he, open to certain things? Does his values line up? Does he want those kind of things? Because again, not every man is going to want, your exact lifestyle. Like my husband could give a damn about my purse. Where's my, oh, I put it back here. My purse, this is a freaking Fendi purse, that he could give a damn about this purse, right? He's like, whatever. But my lifestyle is like, I want a Fendi purse. I want this, beautiful bag. I want these, Jimmy Choo shoes. I bought like thousands of dollars of shoes and bags and clothes and all this stuff. My husband could care less about that. That's not his lifestyle. That's not his idea, but he can afford it. So I get to have it, if that makes any sense. So just kind of looking at like what he can afford and what he has already, that's going to help like see if it's going to be something that he'll be open to. And also if he's generous, because if he is cheap, or he's going to question like, oh my god, I can't believe you want that, or you spent this much money on this or something like that, then that's going to be a little bit of a struggle. But even my husband, sometimes he's like, really, how much is that bag? Oh my gosh, damn, like really. But he doesn't, like, he's not against it. He's like, whatever makes you happy, get it. So just think of it that way, where, you're looking at like, can he afford it? Not necessarily, is it something that he's already having and stuff like that. Because most men don't spend that much money, not as much money as women. And they usually will have like assets. See, this is the thing, when you are going to be engaged and to be married, this is when you'll really get to know, because you'll see, like, I mean, you should always ask to, or he will just offer. Like my husband, he just was like, set up the meeting to show me all of his financials, all his assets and liabilities and all that stuff. But that's when you really see like, okay, what he can afford, what he can't afford. But like you can just kind of get hints like, oh, he owns this house, he works here, how long has he been working there, is he generous, what kind of places is he taking you, what kind of activities does he like to do with you, what is he talking about, how does his vacations look, how does he travel. Just kind of picking up those kind of hints about like what he's actually about, and if he is more cheap. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Jasmine, my hobby is psychic readings and tarot cards, reading murder mysteries. Okay, so that is great, because I was there with you. I love getting into the dark side. That's so much fun. Just figuring out, what else is out there. The thing about that is like, you don't know how everybody is going to take that. So you can say like, oh, I'm into like, looking in spirituality. You can say like the lighter things of that. You just don't need to get like super deep into like psychic reading, because you don't know how everybody's going to take that, right? So you just tread lightly when you're talking about like psychics and stuff like that. Most men, I find, they're open to all of that. They're like, oh, okay, what could you say about me? Like I remember my husband, like I did like a tarot reading on him like when we were like a couple months in or whatever. And it was so funny. He was like, oh my God, that was actually really accurate. Like most men aren't like afraid of those things, but it also depends on like where he's at in his life. And like if he's like super religious or anything like that, then he may be like a little offended or something like that. But I'm definitely into to that too. And murder mysteries, how fun. Okay. Dance too. Okay, you guys talking. Yeah. So you definitely need to have some hobbies. So that is number one, right? You need to build up your personality. And that's an easy way to do it is by having a hobby. Most, and I'm going to tell you this, most men, no matter how successful they are and busy they are going to have a hobby. Like there are men who are at my gym and they, play pickup basketball and they play it like every week and they're playing. That's a hobby that men do that they don't put down, right? There are men who play golf. There are men like my husband who played baseball. That is his hobby and he plays it, dang, it's like not it. There are men who play it like he plays it every summer, right? And he coaches the kids in our neighborhood in it. It's his passion. It's his hobby, right? So he obviously, is this big business owner kind of guy, but then he takes the time to go do something that he's more interested in. People, are really into snowboarding and they do that. They're, like I said, the guy who had a $20,000 hobby that we knew, he was a race car driver, and that was what he did on the side, and he invested his money in that. And so a lot of the time these guys have no problem like with their hobbies. It's mostly women who are like, I don't do anything. And it's like, do something, live your life. You don't have to be in the house. You don't have to be bored, because that's actually going to make you more interesting. And he's going to think you're more fun and more interesting. Another thing that you want to do is make sure that you educate yourself. So another thing, apart from just like doing something fun and having a hobby, you want to have knowledge, because knowledge is important. You want to be able to speak about different things that you're interested in or that you find interest in, or things that you may not know and want to find out more things into. This is really, really big, especially when you're speaking with people and they find out like you're into that, like about that. So like with me, I love like ancient history. I love ancient Egypt or Rome or Greece or Eastern like Asian history. Like I will devour it. Like I read, like obviously I read fiction, but I am like a huge nonfiction. Like my library for that is like huge. I like have so many books. I have the Bhagavad Gita. I have, the Egyptian Dead Sea Scroll. I have all of the books. I have all of the information and I just devour it. I watch, these things when I work out and I just want like this coming in my head. Like I'm obsessed with that information. I think it's very fascinating and there's a lot to learn about it, especially through philosophy and all those things. So I find it very, very intriguing. That is a part of me that most people don't even realize that is me. Like I'm a huge nerd in that sense, where I take in that information and I'm like obsessed and I can watch it and listen to it and read it for hours. That is something that is intriguing, because it's like, I didn't take you for that. And I'm not saying you have to do the same thing, but I'm saying once you learn about certain things and you can speak more in depth about it and you can have more passion into it, and it's something that is like educational and something that is, just intriguing, maybe like off, like from what you may look like even, that is going to get the guy to be like, wow, like you're so different than I thought, right? That's going to grab him, right? Because being intriguing, he becomes more curious about you. Like, wow, I didn't take you for that. Or it doesn't even have to be that. It could be about just like certain fun facts that you may know about certain countries or certain cultures or certain things that's going to make you seem more cosmopolitan, where it's like, wow, this woman is worldly. Like she knows about a lot of things, or she's interested in knowing about a lot of different things. That is important because that grabs the attention, where it's not just you're a beautiful girl sitting in front of me and you like to do this. It's like, oh, you have a life. Right? You have interests. You are educating yourself. You have knowledge. You are wise. Like, Wow, you're really the whole package. And that's what I want you ladies to present yourself with, because that is how you grab attention, and that is actually how you get men to see you in more of like a serious light, where they're like, oh, she's a woman, right? She's a real woman, she's not a little girl. And this doesn't mean with age, because I was doing that, I was just being myself, and that's just who I am since I was in my early 20s. And that's how I was even dating older men, because they were like, whoa, I didn't know you were like that smart, or that you were thinking about those kind of things. And I would talk about them like really not often where it was like intimidating or boring, but I would just like slightly bring something up. Like we would be somewhere and I would see like a symbol, and I was like, oh, that's actually the symbol for this such and such thing in this such and such culture. And they're like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, like I was reading a book and it brought that up. And they're instantly looking at it like, whoa, I did not expect you to know any of that. And so it's just like a cute little thing that you can like bring up. And also, if you're interested in it, then great, perfect. You can use that. And also, like, it actually like works in your favor, because people like to invest in smart people or people that they find fascinating or intriguing. So I remember when I was with this guy before my husband, I was very much into yoga. I'm still into yoga. I practice yoga practically every single day. Just in the morning when I wake up, it just centers me and it just kind of gets my body ready to move and all that other stuff. And when I first started, I actually wanted to become a yoga instructor. And I was dating this guy and I was like, I think I want to go down this path and become a yoga instructor. I want to take this course that's in Bali, and I'm really interested in that. And he was like, oh my God, that is so amazing, like you should definitely do that, like I will pay for the whole thing for you to do it, like yes, like do it. So those are kind of things, like the more intrigued and like interested and curious they are about you, if you just bring up like, I actually want to do this with it, and they'll be like, oh my God, especially if he's successful and he knows like, like you're obviously like don't have the money to do it yourself. He was like, I'll pay for it, right? I will send you to do that. That's awesome. So, just something to bring up that will be in your benefit. So is that how you answer what do you do for fun question? Yes, you talk about the things that you like to do for fun. Like you like to blank, 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 blank. And that could be anything. Like if you, because most men want to see like what they can do with you. So you can say things that, can add him into it, but you just bring up the things that you like to do for fun. Like if you like hiking, if you like things like that, just say, yeah, I like to hike, I like to bike ride, I like to do those kind of things. I like to, if you love movies, like you're a film buff, like I love to go to the movies. If you like to go to plays, like say I like to go to these plays. These are things that's going to come in his mind of what he can do with you. And also like if you are like, I love like traveling and checking out different places and stuff like that, it's not necessarily you have to hop on a plane and go, but you can be like, I like discovering new places in where we live. So if in my case, it's like I love discovering places in California, which I do because California is so big, and I'm like never gonna see the whole thing. And so my husband, like when we first started dating, I was like, oh my God, I like traveling and I like seeing new places in California, but I've never been to San Francisco. And he's like, I'm gonna take you to San Francisco. I was like, great, I heard the shopping there is amazing. And he's like, yes, we can definitely go shopping, and we're gonna go to this baseball game. So I think he was in it for the baseball game and obviously to impress me. But like, that's what men do. They'll like pick up on what you say, and then they're like, okay, let's go do that. And then like, you pick up and say, well, I actually want this. And then so say if it's even something that is like simple, like I want, like I remember like with my husband, it was like, oh, I want to go to San Diego or something like that. Like I want to check out Coronado Island. It's like in San Diego or whatever. And then he's like, okay, yeah, let's definitely do that. And I was like, oh, but I need like a new swimsuit and I need some new stuff to like go down there. And then he's like, all right, like we can go shopping and like get it. So like he will actually like prepare you to do the things that you want to do. So like if it's like, oh, I want to, like I love golf, I want to play golf or something like that, and it's like, oh well, I actually need a new outfit, or like I need a new thing, or I need a new club or something like that, men will usually like just say, oh, I'll get you a new one, I'll get you one. So yes, say those things, and he'll just like try to fit himself into it. What if your dating site What if you're on the dating site, but you're just not finding anybody? Do you give up? No, you do not give up. What you do is you date people online and you date people in person. It could be that you're just not in the area where you're going to meet anybody who is, you know, who you could actually swipe on. It could be that your photos or what you're saying on there. So you can definitely check out like my dating course that I have, online dating course, where I give more into details on how to find people. But it could be that, you know, the people that you're around aren't just like the kind of guys that you're looking for. So you could just go outside more and then also swipe when you're outside, but like do both, because I don't want you to get frustrated, because when you get frustrated, I'm like, oh my God, I need to quit, then it's over, right? When you're online dating, like you have to have positive energy and having fun. So swiping and stuff like that needs to be fun to you. Like, oh, this guy is great. No, like if it's not fun, then, you know, have a glass of wine and do it. Like, you know, do like make it more fun. If it's not fun, put it down. Sure. Like then, you know, focus on dating on guys in person. But I do think you should be doing both, because then you can catch more fish, because you're in both in person and online. But it could just be where you're at. There are just not that many great guys. It could be your photos is not attracting these guys. It could be a number of things. But yeah, you could check out my my course if you're interested in taking a deeper dive into that, because in there I do show you, like I'm actually getting online with you and showing you how to do everything, what kind of guys to pick. Like I actually pick some guys, and some of the guys in the course, you'll see, like even some of the guys that I picked, like I was like, like there was a physician in there. I was like, okay, what is around me? Because this is like, actually there was, like obviously there weren't like great guys on there, but there were some that were like, okay, maybe. So yeah, definitely check it out. When I'm on a date, I'm listening and observing for financial stability, provider mindset, growth mindset, values in family and marriage, addiction free. I try to ask casual things about these. Yeah, you can ask casual things about this, but also men usually like to brag. So they will tell you, like I always say, like there is not a doctor, surgeon, attorney, business owner that does not tell you what they do. Like they will just say it. Like I dated this guy for a little bit, and he is an attorney for this big law firm. He's partner at this law firm, and he does like music contract, like he works in the music industry. He's like an industry lawyer. And he's like, oh, you know, our clients are such and such, like big artists, whatever. I'm not gonna say it because then you'll kind of know who I'm talking about. But yeah, he just like, oh, this is what I do, this is like that, like, oh, I'm an attorney. And like guys like that were surgeons, oh, like, yeah, I'm a surgeon or whatever. Even my husband, see, my husband is funny because he'll tell people like that he meets people, like they're like, oh, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a baseball player. And they're like, what are you? And they're like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, you know, I play some baseball, because he's just like kind of like that guy. And it's like, oh, okay. And then they'll ask me, like, oh, your husband's a baseball player. I was like, he's an attorney. Like, don't let that man tell you he's a baseball player. So, you know, like whatever. But they usually will tell you in some type of way. And also, like, you can kind of pick it up, because me, I'm definitely gonna need to Google you, and I need to see something come up with you. And usually if you Google somebody and you see where they work and you see what they're about, then you can kind of like get an idea of what they're about. But men are such, like they will talk themselves up to a woman and let you know everything you need to do, and you can just sit back. Would you handle it this way? Yeah, I would definitely sit back and be like, okay, that sounds great. You know, and they will tell on themselves because they want to impress you. They have all of these things to impress women. So they're going to talk about, you know, their career. They're going to talk about the neighborhood that they live in. They're going to talk about, you know, the values. And you can kind of see, like, you can see if a guy is like a family guy just by what he talks about or what he says he does, or the kind of relationships he has with people. Is he big with friendships? Is he not? So you can kind of just sit back and let him do all the talking and just take mental notes. And then the little things that you can do to like, get a little more out of him is just kind of just asking like innocent questions about it. So if it's like, oh, where do you live? And it's like, oh, I live in such and such neighborhood. Oh, that's cool. So how long have you been living there? And he's like, oh, I actually bought a house there. So I've been living there for, you see, like it'll get him to say, okay, he owns the house. Right? He's not renting, he's an owner. So those are kind of things like you can say where a person who is, if he doesn't own it, he was like, oh, I've been living there for this long, but I'm thinking of moving to this other neighborhood or something like that. And it's like, okay, maybe he doesn't own, oh, and you can ask, oh, okay, but yeah, that's cool. I heard that neighborhood is like this, but like I was looking at I was like, oh, isn't it like you can kind of bring up mortgage prices, but like, I don't know, you can do something like that. Usually they will tell you everything you need to just by little stupid questions, if that helps. Angela, what are some topics of conversation guys like to have with girls in particular? So guys, what they like to have conversations about sex. That's why I tell you, you need to have more conversations to have that are not about sex, because they will love to have a conversation about sex with you, because that is going to make them feel like they can have sex with you. So that is what they like to have. What they are intrigued by is when you have conversations that are surrounding things that are deeper to you, that aren't necessarily like something that is like overstepping and like too deep into who you are. So like I was saying before, like if you are going to talk to him about anything, like first let him start speaking and you see what level of conversation he likes to have. Most men will like to talk about themselves and like to talk about like, oh, where they grew up, what's going on. So long as you're kind of just like listening and just being like attentive with it and like looking him in his eyes and smiling with him, then he's going to be like, oh, okay, she's interested in stuff like that. Whatever you say, it kind of has to have a little bit of like, I'm my own person kind of energy. Like, this is what I do, this is what I'm about. And like, the intriguing part is your intelligence. The intriguing part is your knowledge. The intriguing part is your passion and your interest. That's going to catch him off guard, especially if he's just been talking about himself and then he's like, oh, like, I haven't talked about like you. I'm so sorry. Like, what do you like to do? Like, what are your interests? Now, if he asks you like, what do you do for work or something like that, you can simply just say like, work is so boring. I have no passion for what I do, but my real true passion is blank, 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 blank. That is something you can say. But a lot of the time, men, they would love for you to just like talk about sex, but you can talk about other things. Definitely don't talk about sex. But I'm being honest when I say like, that's what they would like you to talk about, because that will bring them closer to having sex with you, which most men, when they first meet you, that's the reason why they're there. They want to have sex with you. It's not necessarily that they want to marry you or be with you. Their first, primal instinct is like, I want to mate with this woman, right? She is gorgeous. She is attractive. And you may not be thinking that same way. So you just have to like listen to him speak, see what he's talking about, and then speak about things that you're interested in, and not make it like an interview style. When you're just talking about like what you're in, whatever that may be, and you have a passion for it and you're looking him in the eye, like that is also very, very intriguing. Like when someone's speaking to you and they're staring at you dead in your eyes and they're smiling and they're nodding and they're listening, that makes them feel like, oh my God, like I'm the only person in this room, right? If you look away and then you look back, that's also intriguing. Like I'm looking away, but I'm still here. I'm still here with you. I'm listening to you. And they're like, oh, okay, I have all of her attention. And yeah, that's really what it is. I need to be around more successful men. Yeah, by doing the easiest way to get around more successful men is just by doing things that more successful men like to do. And that could just be like they're mostly doing things that make them happy. Like I think every single guy on my husband's baseball team is successful. They're either attorneys or they are business owners, or I think one of them is like an actor who's been in a couple of things. They're all like on their game. So a lot of these guys, like I say, they have hobbies, they have things that they like to do. So a lot of those things are going to be a little more masculine, like baseball, that's very masculine, but golf is unisex, tennis is unisex, riding bikes is unisex. A lot of these things that are like more unisex, you can like enter that way. Another thing is that you can just be out in the places that men are going to be at, which is usually going to be at a restaurant, sitting at the bar, having lunch, having dinner. Like, men don't necessarily cook, so you can easily like meet these men in nicer places and just sit in the bar and usually just spark up like the easiest way to spark up a conversation, if you're just to start off the night. I don't believe in like shooting your shot, but I do believe in a way that shows the man that that you're nice enough to speak to. Is if you go to a bar, pick the seat that is close to him and then ask him, is anyone sitting here? That is the open invitation for him to start yapping. And men always take that invitation because they're like, oh, you're gonna sit here, of course, yes, you can sit here, no problem. Like, they will move a mountain just to make sure that you get the seat that's next to them. You can also, if that is obviously like it's not that deep or whatever, there's so many seats and like it's weird to just pick the one sitting next to him, you can look at the menu and kind of look at what he's having. And like, you can like take your time with the menu when they ask you, and you can just kind of like, oh, I don't know. You can kind of say like, oh, what is he having over there? And make it so he hears you. And that usually is an invitation for him to be like, oh yeah, like I'm having this, like, this is great. And then he'll start talking. And if you're like seats away, he'll close the gap. He'll kind of try to scoot over next to you and start talking to you. So it's very easy to get men in general, and successful men, they're easy because they want to talk to you if you look good. Obviously, you want to look good, you want to, have beauty on your side, you want to look beautiful, so it's easy, so you can like attract the men. And smiling is the best way, because once you're smiling and they know you're friendly, they're like, oh, hi. And obviously being in the right places, but doing activities, going to nicer places, and being okay to just be alone. That is another thing. Like, a lot of people want to do things with other people. Do things alone. Like, a lot of the things that I do are alone, just because like I don't have many friends that live the same lifestyle as me. Like, some of my friends, like, they work, or like with my sister's case, she's just like busy. Like, we don't live in the same town anymore. So she lives like a little more south of the beach, and I live a little more north of the beach. So we don't see each other all the time. So I'm usually by myself doing things. And so it's funny because I tell my husband that I'm like, I'm alone every day. And then when you get home, that's when I want to talk to you, and you don't want to talk to me. He's like, I'm all day speaking to employees, speaking to clients. Like, when I get home, I don't want to talk. So it's funny how that ends up happening. But anyways, do things alone and you will get a lot more out of it. That was so long. I answer these questions like so long. It's annoying me. I'm sorry. In a conversation about like family dynamics, when you're out on a date with a guy, do not come on too strong. In a conversation about family dynamics, what are you so if you're asking me how to bring up a conversation about family dynamics, you can talk about how family is important to you, and then see how he responds to that. Because usually if a person has if you're talking about like if he has if he has like a good family situation, if he's close with his family, is he a family guy or not? You can just talk about your family, like, oh, like I was hanging out with my sister, and like, or like with me, it kind of comes up because me and my sister are best friends. So I will talk about her just like automatically, and they're like, oh, you and your sister must be close, like what's the age difference? And I'm like, oh yeah, we are close, we're best friends, we're only a year and 9 months apart, and blah 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 blah. And then like, oh, that's so great, me and my family is close too, like, well, we have a time. I'm like, oh my god, that's so great. So people kind of talk about that, and then that's how that comes up. If you're asking if he wants like children or anything like that, um you can bring this up once you're actually looking at him as like a potential like husband or someone, like I wouldn't bring it up if you're still unsure of who he is in your life. Like if you don't know if you like him like that, I wouldn't bring up like questions that aren't for him, right? Because not everybody you date is your husband, and that's important to know. And that's why I don't tell you to come in with these interview style questions, because not everybody there that you're dating is there to be your husband. Some guys are there to help you financially. Some guys are there to take you on trips. Some guys are there to take you shopping. Some guys are there to be your handyman. Some guys are there to be the shoulder. Like everybody has a category. And then when you find the guy that can be everything, then you're like, hey, you actually can fill every role. You're a consideration for husband. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know how you were trying to ask the question, but that's just how I answered it. Where did you meet your husband? So I actually met my husband while so I have a notary business and my husband is an attorney, and so I had to go and do a signing for his client, and he was there. And so then we met because the client had called me randomly, and I was the one who went out to the job to go do it. And so once we met, he was professional when the client was there, but then when I was leaving and stuff like that, he asked me for my number, and we chatted for a little bit, but then he asked me for my number, and I gave him my card with my number on it, and then he reached out to me and texted me and told me that that I was beautiful. He would love to take me to dinner, and then he did, and we went on our first date, and he just never left me alone. Like, honest to God, like even the next day, he's like, can I see you? And I had a date the next day, and I went on the date, and then he was still like, I would love to like take you out. And then like after I came home from the date, like he came to pick me up and took me on another date. And then it was like, I want to be with you tomorrow. I want to be with you the next day. Like, I want to be with you all the time. I've literally been around my husband since the first day that I met him. Like, he would not let go. And that's kind of like the energy that I liked, because I like someone who's sure, and he's just like an act upon it kind of guy. Like, he goes all out. Like, when he wants something, he goes after it. And this is what's made him successful in business. Like, he doesn't play games. Like, he's like, I like you. I want to be with you. I want to be around you. Whatever I have to do, I'm going to do it to be with this girl. And he did everything that, intrigued me. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll be with you. So that's the short story how we met. I think the long story is like somewhere, some video, like, yeah, I think it would have to have been like 2022. So a video 2 years ago. With that in mind, wouldn't you say if a man doesn't list his occupation on a dating profile, then it's safe to say he's not doing something he's really proud of? Exactly. Now, let me take a sip because I'm thirsty. On dating profiles, I'm looking at professions. I have to know what you're doing. Like, that's just a given. If he does not show or say what he's doing on there, I need like a photo evidence. If he's saying other things like that's not his profession, then you're probably not doing something like impressive or prestigious or anything that anybody's going to get excited about. If he doesn't say anything on there, you look to the photos. The photos will tell you more of a story. Like, if you look at the photos and he has on like a white coat or scrubs, or you see him in a suit, like not in a suit like he's going to a wedding, but like in a suit like he's going into the courtroom or something, like an attorney. If you see like he has like a watch, because sometimes he could be retired, depending on his age, so he won't put on a profession. But if you see he's living a life of leisure, then you can get to know him, and then he'll kind of talk about himself and see what he's about and stuff like that, and what he has going on. But most of the time, if he's already involved in his profession, he's going to be excited to talk about it, and he's going to put that out for you to know, because he knows that's a way for him to get women. So if he's not saying anything, then he probably doesn't have that great of a career. So yeah. Interested in where do I sign up for the class would be. Um interest in what class? Let me try to see. Oh, for the course, that is in the description. So you can like click the link. How to introduce the idea of getting a guy to invest in you. So the number one way to do that is to talk about what you're passionate about. So if you're investing you in different type of ways, like if you want him to start like giving you money, taking care of you and stuff like that, then there's a couple of things with that. First, you have to make sure that he's really attracted to you, like he's like you're his dream woman, like he's like really really into you. Second, he needs to kind of know that like you, and this is if you like don't have, you want him to like pay for like your lifestyle, like you want him to pay for your bills, your apartment, your house, whatever, like your mortgage, you want him to start paying bills. Then he needs to kind of know like that you don't have it like that, like you don't have this like endless budget or anything like that, and that you're also like really like a loving and nice person that he would want to help, because it's like, oh, I'm just like kind of like down on my luck right now and I need like help, but like I'm a great person. Because the thing of it is if he's really interested in you and really thinks you're attractive and stuff, he'll give you anything and everything, and you can ask for anything because he'll give it to you, because he knows like she is so like she's kind of like out of your league, out of his league, then he's going to want to give to you, because it's like, I'm going to give her anything to keep her around. And you also like, in that case, you're kind of like a sweetheart to him. Like he looks at you like, oh my God, like I want to help this girl. So like I'll just give you an example, like with my husband has been providing for me since the moment I met him. Like honestly, it's just kind of like automatic. But then I'm also like used to that kind of lifestyle. So I don't know exactly what I said to him or how I portrayed. I just kind of was myself, and he just does it, and that's kind of his personality, I guess. But with my husband, I feel like I I didn't have to necessarily tell him what I wanted, like, "Oh, I need money." I just kinda said, like, "This is what I need to do. This is what I have to do." And he's like, "Oh, okay, like, I'll take care of it." Like, "Oh, I'll take care of that." So some men, they're so into you and they like you. If you just talk about the things that you need and that you want to be taken care of, they'll just tell you, like, "I'll take care of it." Like, with my husband, like, I was like having car trouble and stuff like that. He's just like, oh, like I just told him, like, oh, I have to take my car in. I have this is happening. He's like, okay, I'll just take care of it. Like anytime I get a ticket, my husband was like, and this is before we got married, he would just take the ticket and pay for it. If I needed gas or anything like that, he just paid for it. Once he knew how much my car was a month, he just paid for it. Like, so a lot of the time, like if they like you enough and they're already in their masculine, they will just do that. Now, you can ask obviously for help, but you can say it kind of like, I need to figure out what I'm going to do. Like I'm just so stressed out, like I need like I just don't know what I'm going to do. You can play that game, and also like the damsel in distress. Like I have so much, like honestly, like just being honest, it's just us girls here. Like I told a guy a bold-faced lie, but was like crying. And you gotta be an actress, right? Like if you want stuff, like you can just cry. And I cried, And I was like, oh my God, like I have so many things going on. Like I need, like, I just don't even know what to do anymore. Like I'm so stressed out and blah, 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 blah. And I was like crying on the phone, like just on the phone. I never even met this guy in person. I was just talking to him. This was before my husband, obviously. And he was living in London and it was during COVID. So I had a lot of time and I was very bored. And, you know, I was just seeing what I could get out of men because it was fun. And I just was like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out. I have so much going on. I don't even have the money for this. He's like, how much do you need? And I was like, I just need like 5,000. And he was like, I'm going to send it to you. Like, don't cry. Like, I got you. Like, you know, like you're such a sweetheart. Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool. So, like, you know, and then like, you know, you give your little, oh my God, I'm so grateful. So like you're a woman, you can use a lot of your femininity to get what you want out of men. Like to this day, I can guilt trip my husband into basically doing anything I want. Like I could be in the wrong and my husband will be the one apologizing because I'm a woman and I know how to play it up. So again, don't be afraid to be a woman and like use tears. I'm not telling you have to use tears, but use your beauty, use your tears if you have to, use anything around you, and yeah, they'll give it to you. I hope that helps. Do you believe in freestyling on the weekends? Yeah, I mean, you can if that's the only time. The problem with that is usually on the weekends there are so many couples and then there are so many friends. So a lot of time on the weekends it's like family time, it's couples time, and it's friends time. So if you're out and say it's like brunch and you go to the bar, it's usually going to be like a bunch of friends. So if you're confident and you're by yourself and you're fine with, you know, talking to people like by yourself, then sure. It's just a lot of people are already grouped up. So it makes it a little harder. Um, it's always best to do it during the week where people aren't already on dates or with their family or hanging out with a big group of friends. But you can still do it. Like I believe and do because you never know what will happen. Like I believe in like manifesting good things. So you can walk like when I met my husband, I didn't know I was gonna meet the guy. I've been on plenty of signings with attorneys there and nothing happened, right? I mean I've had guys like be nice to me and like pay for my parking and like ask for my number and stuff like that, but it didn't get anywhere really. But I didn't know I was going to meet my husband. So you never know where you're going to meet your person. I would say just go out, enjoy life. But if you are specifically like trying to target the best time, it would be like during the week and it will be like during like eating hours. If you're gonna go out like to a restaurant and stuff like that, it would be like obviously breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because that's when they'll be alone. Yeah, but the weekend can work too. I mean, not everybody's doing brunch. Some people just go there to eat and they're by themselves. So yeah. Should we freestyle on weekdays only, like Shira says? Yeah, I mean, I think with Shira, the advice is solid on that. But you can do both. Like, I believe like you can do all of it and see what works best for you, because it could be like your person is just out on the weekend by themselves. Like you don't know. So do all of it. Do anytime you get the chance to do it. But the best outcome would be during the week. I'm alone too. Yeah, you have to be alone. When you were on dating apps, did you require a screenshot of a restaurant reservation to confirm the date? No. Um, I okay, so when I was online dating, I did not like a lot of the horror stories weren't there for me, or I just didn't listen to it. So I was not like very like cautious or anything like that. I was just like, okay, you're gonna take me out, like because I've been out so long, like you know, like I think like it's just like kind of my energy. Like I just had so many. I mean, obviously people have bad experiences, but like I had so many good experiences dating where I actually like dating. like when I was dating, I actually was having like a lot of fun because I mean, I also live where there's a lot of like successful, good people to date. So I wasn't like, oh, he's gonna be shady. Like this guy is, I can already tell is like obsessed with me. Like he wants to take me out. He's not gonna fake a reservation. Like why would he do that? Right. So I think that's also just kind of like the people that you're choosing. Are they really interested in taking you out? Because a guy is usually going to like make the reservation, make sure that like it's like he wants to take you out. So there's no need for a confirmation. And also I wasn't really because I was a vegan. I'm not a vegan anymore. I eat fish, but I still follow a lot other than eating fish, which I only I started eating sushi, let's say that. So, but I was a hardcore vegan for over 5 years. And I was never really picky when, especially when I was dating, because a lot of the places, like I probably wasn't gonna find something to eat anyways. So I never really like dig too deep. So people will take me to like steak houses and places like that. And I'm like, I'll just have the salad. I'll just have, oh, my eyes watering. And so I never really like was too picky on where we were going to eat or anything like that. But I will say, like, most of these men, because they're successful, they want to take you to the nicest place and they're going to make the reservation and you don't have to worry about that. Like, that's not a big deal. I mean, it's only going to embarrass him if you go to a place and he doesn't have a reservation and you got to wait. Then it's kind of like looks bad on him, like he didn't even plan the date. And you can kind of use that to your advantage. Like, wow, you didn't even plan the date. Like, I thought you were excited to see me. You didn't even, and then he's like, oh no, I'm so sorry. Like that will never happen again. And you're like, I don't know if we're going to have it happen again because then he's like, no, how can I make it up to you? You can start asking for whatever you want. So a lot of the times men are going to be on their P's and Q's in the beginning. So you don't have to worry about that. Would you say with dating apps, a rule of thumb would be to stay off of them on Friday, Saturday night, as it does not appear desperate? You should be on a date. That's the biggest thing. Like if you're on dating apps, like I'm expecting you to be on dates, like left to right. Like if you're on dating apps, it's not just to talk to people so they can take you out. Like you want to go out to nice places. So Friday and Saturday, you should be on a date. Like when I was dating, like unless I did not want to go out that weekend with any guys, like yes, you should be on dates. So it doesn't, I mean, appearing desperate, you also, oh, did I spill something? You also have to realize like nobody knows you. That is a big thing. I live by this principle. As soon as I moved to LA, I'm like, nobody knows me. So who is going to judge me that I care about? So this appearing desperate, appearing like this, and so, who's judging you? This guy? This guy is desperate. He wants to, remember, he wants to sleep with you. So you're still in control until you give him what he wants. So regardless if you text him, if you're responding to him on a Friday or Saturday, it really doesn't matter. Because if he's hitting you up on a Friday or Saturday, he's trying to either, because if he's not out on a date, he's trying to probably hang out with you anyways and saying, oh, can I, try to hang out with you last minute? Like, can we go somewhere or something like that? So I don't really judge myself that deep. And I wouldn't tell you to because nobody knows you and who's really going to judge you but yourself. So yeah, there's no need to feel desperate. Would you refrain from wearing luxury products around them? My eye is really watering. It's so weird. It's so annoying. No. I would not. I would not. I would not. No, because you need him to know that this is what you like, this is what you want, and I'm not going to not have it. So yeah, I bought it to wear it, so I'm gonna wear it. I don't think, like, if you have a guy who knows what you like, what you're about, and what you have, this can be a gift from somebody else. This could be like, a lot of people say like, oh, like I have a luxury vehicle, and it's like you can say it was a gift for graduating. Like it was a gift. Oh, you have like these nice bags, another gift. Like it's not giving off like that you're rich. It's that other people around you like to give you nice things. Like, it's a gift. Most of all of the luxury items that I have are gifts. I mean, from my husband, from previous relationships. I've never really bought anything myself. Even stuff that I buy now, it's coming from my husband because he's the one who has the money. So it's I'm never like, my money, I worked, I bought, in the luxury market. So if that's your case, like you have all this stuff, it's a gift. And if he's like, "Oh, you have this stuff," oh yeah, it was a gift. Like I said, with my little Fendi, I'd be like, "Oh, I got this as a gift for graduating college." Or if you're older, and it's like, "Yeah, this was a bag that was left for me from my grandmother. She bought this for me," or this. It's a gift. So he doesn't think anything like, "Oh, she must have money. She can afford this." It's a gift. People give me nice things. I love nice things. That's why they give it to me. It was a gift from my mother for Christmas. It was a gift from my father. It was a gift. Don't say it was a gift from a man. Say it was from family. So he knows this is what your family gives you. So this is what you should expect. Because if he knows like your family is willing to give you nice things, then clearly you're going to want to be with a man who's going to give you nice things. So if you say a man, then he could think like other things. But if you say it's your family, then it comes off more like, oh, okay. So if you mention that you want or need something and he kind of disregards it, would you continue seeing him? I lose interest after that and cut them off for the smallest things. The thing of it is, it depends on what you ask for. Like, if there's little things to do to see if you can actually like see if he's cheap or if he's not. So if you say something like, "Oh, I'm trying to think. Hold on. I have to turn off this fan because that's what's messing with me. Sorry. All right. I'm back. Because the fan was like messing with my eye, and I just realized that. So if you think of it, if you're asking him, like, because I would do this a lot, I would ask for like things that I needed help on. So like if I would say I had car trouble or something like that, and like a damsel in distress situation, and he doesn't help me, then I'm like, then I can't really depend on you, can I? Then I would cut you off. But if I'm asking you for something like bigger, and then you kind of like, then I'm like, okay, let's see. Because it's like, sometimes it's like, you can ask them for something that costs like $500 to like $1,000 and they'll do it. But it's like, if it's over 1,000, then he won't do it. Then you use him for the little money that he can give you. If you need something small and he doesn't offer to help you, then buy. Because you can't help me. Like, I'm a woman. Help me. The hell? So yeah, I say it depends on what it is that you're asking, because like I said, you don't need everybody to give you, all the money in their account. You just need someone for certain things. Like, like you can call him for like little BS. You can call this one for big things. You can call this one. So it's like, having a roster that benefits you. Not everybody is a starting player. Some people sit on the bench, but when it's time for them to rise for something little, you can count on them. If that makes any sense. Also, my only fear for going on dates would be getting grilled on, like, I'm more chill and soft, and being grilled tends to tense me up. Who is grilling you? Who is grilling you? Nobody. If a guy is grilling you, then he is making it uncomfortable, and you can just be, hold on. There is no reason to be grilled on a date by a guy. He is there to impress you. He wants to make you feel comfortable because his objective is to sleep with you. So what is it that he is going to be talking to you about that's going to grill you? If he is doing that, then he's being weird, and I would stop talking. and I would tell him, why are you, this is making me uncomfortable. And then he's gonna be like, oh, how? It's like, you're asking me so many questions and it's like intimidating me a little bit. Like, I just want to have like a good time. I didn't know that, this was gonna be like that kind of situation. Like, and he's gonna feel bad and he's gonna back down and he's gonna apologize and he's gonna try to make it up to you. There's no reason he should be grilling you. If he's grilling you, then he doesn't like you. If you've already been dating him and he starts grilling you, just play that same card like, oh my God, I'm feeling really uncomfortable. Because that's the thing with guys. If you say that you're uncomfortable, that's like a warning sign. That's like a big like no. Like a woman being uncomfortable when she's on a date with you is like haywire in a guy's mind, because that can go either way. You can tell somebody else that you're uncomfortable and they're looking at him like, oh my God, mayday, mayday. So like when a guy hears I'm uncomfortable, he's like, oh my God, I need to fix this. What did I do? Like, what did I say? So yeah, I would use that. There's no grilling needed. Have you ever had a man like intensely question you or anything? No. I mean, when I was with like my first boyfriend ever, and I went to a party and one of his friends told them that they saw me talking to another guy. And he started intensely questioning me, but like that was when I was younger. But like older, like what are you questioning me for? Like that would be super weird. And like, why are you asking me? So I would just, like how I responded before, I would turn it around. Can you please talk about long distance online texting calls, how to build a bond, fake number versus iPhone? Okay, so online, so this is the thing. When it's long distance, the best thing to do, you're gonna have to FaceTime, because I don't like long distance. It's not my thing. It's not something that I like, because I like to be in person with people. I like them to like pull up on me when I need you to pull up on me. I need you to like do something. I need you there. I'm one of those kind of people, because I like access service. But that is physical. I like quality time. So that's my thing. But for you, if you're online and you need to date someone that's a little further away, FaceTime is going to be your friend. And these FaceTime dates, you have to treat them like dates. Like you have to tell them, like, this needs to be like a date. Like if he's going to say, oh, like, can we FaceTime? Because that'll be usually what it is, that they're going to want a video call with you. And then you can say, oh, like, is it gonna be like a date video call, or are you just trying to call me for something? And he was like, oh, like a date? Like, yeah, what do you mean? And it's like dinner, like you send dinner, like something like that. So you can kind of introduce it to him if he doesn't like know of that concept already. You can say, yeah, like you send dinner, we have a meal together just through video since we're long distance. And then he's like, oh, I like that. That would be cool. Yeah. He can do that, where he's sending food and you guys are having a meal together through the video. The thing of it is while you're talking to one another, because you're gonna have to talk a lot more, it has to be that he's going to come and see you. It has to be that you're gonna say on the video date, you can say, well, this was great. Like I really like enjoyed getting to know you a little bit more. Moving, like I would love to like see you, like if this is something that we're interested in doing, like we need to plan to see each other, like and usually he will just jump on that and want to come and see you, and he'll plan for him to come to see you. You are not going to go see him, he is going to come see you. So that is a mandatory thing, that he has to come and see you. So that way you're in the home base, you're home, you're not in a hotel, you're not forced to, be with him, sleep with him, or anything like that. So he needs to come to you and he needs to visit you and spend some money and time with that. And that's something I would say will happen like after your first video call, where then he is planning to do that. Most men have no problem doing that because they can easily afford a flight and a hotel. Most people use points on their credit card anyways. So he will be fine to do that. And yeah, the only thing is that it does take some like obvious communication. and you still can't spill your beans. You still want to seem mysterious. And the thing of it is like people who do this best are the people like when I had a little long distance thing, I was having fun when I was doing it. I wasn't looking at it like this is my person. I'm gonna be with this person. Da 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 da. Da. I was like, oh, okay, this is fun. Like, we'll see what happens. And then I started getting stuff from it because I was like, oh, I'll just say this, whatever, because the person's not around, so I can say whatever I want, and they don't know if it's true or not. They don't know if this is happening, and so I was using it like more like just fun and like, okay, let's see what I can get out of this. But like if you're seriously like you have to date long distance, then I would say like, okay, do the date through FaceTime first. And then after that date, once you see like, okay, I'm a little interested in this guy, talk about like him coming to visit you. And he usually will just like jump on that because that's what they do. They have no problem getting on a flight. I went to a brunch and dinner on Saturday in February and some girlfriends and met a man at each restaurant, still dating them both. Okay. Boom. And that happens. Like I've been out with my friends before and we like went like hopping to different places in Beverly Hills and every single place met some guys and you know when I was dating it was like easy. I was like, okay, I got these guys on my roster and stuff like that. So it happens, but it also depends on like your energy and like if you're that kind of person that can bring men to you no matter what. So yeah, I would how would you kindly decline a phone call before a date? I feel like a call before a date is like pulling teeth for me. If you don't want to have a call before, like, what are they calling you for? Like, if they're calling you to confirm, are they calling you to, like, why are you calling me? Yeah, I mean, sometimes people are calling they try to like call to like have like a deeper conversation. You can always say like I'm in the middle of something, like oh, okay, like oh I'm stepping away really quick to take this call. So then they know like they got like 5 minutes, if that, right? And it's like, oh okay, like hi. And they was like, oh, such and such and such. And he's like, oh, okay, wait, hold on. And then you kind of say, okay, I'm gonna step away real quick. I'll be right back. Hi. And then he's like, oh, are you busy doing something? Yeah, I'm in such and such place. I'm doing this. What's up? And he's like, oh, I'm just calling because blah, 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 blah. I want to confirm the date. Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. We're still on. I can't wait to meet you. That's how you do it. And he's like, okay, great, perfect. And it's like, all right, well, I gotta get back. Thanks for the call. Click. If he's calling you to have, he's like, or give me a call back. I would love to talk to you to get to know you more. And it's like, oh, like we'll get to know each other on the date. Click. Like obviously bye, blah, blah, blah. Click. Like we'll get to know each other more on the date when we meet each other. Like I much rather like talk to you in person anyways. He can't deny that. A lot of the phone calls before are just unnecessary, and guys don't really care to have them unless he wants like a chatty patty or something like that. I think sometimes they're just used to other women wanting to talk to them on the phone, so they assume that you want to talk to them on the phone. If you don't want to answer at all, if he calls you, you could just like text back and say, hey, I'm in the middle of something. I just saw your call. What's up? Or something like that. But it's sometimes usually just to confirm the date or, you know, just to see what you sound like. They'll try to FaceTime or something like that. Just make it quick, like under 5 minutes. And yeah, just act like you're excited for the date. And that usually he gets the hint. um, That's so true. It could be a gift. What is it to them? Exactly. It's always a gift. It's a gift. Can't tell me it's not. Precious. Hi, Isabel. Do you have any advice on outfit ideas? What do you usually wear? Usually. So outfit ideas when you're on a date, always wear a dress. That is number one. You want to bring out your femininity so that way he knows that everything that a gentleman is supposed to do, he needs to do. So I would always say dress and heels is number one for the first date all the time. I don't care if he didn't take you to a place that like everybody is dressed like a little more casual. he should be embarrassed that he took you to a place so damn casual when you are clearly a woman and a lady. Usually, if a man sees you dressed really nice, he will switch up the place. He's like, I'm going to take you here, but like, you look so amazing. You look so beautiful. Like, I will take you here. So, yeah, dress in a dress. Another thing, like if you are just out and about, what to wear, you want to wear clothes that fit for what you're doing. So if you're working out, wear workout clothes. Do not wear workout clothes if you are not working out. If you need to have like casual, nice clothes that's like every day and whatever that is. So you need to kind of see what kind of style you have and put that up against your body shape and then create your capsule with you. So with me, I dress feminine, but I also have some masculine elements. So like right now I have like a vest on and some jeans, right? But this is something I would wear to like run to the store really quick. This is something I would wear if my husband is like, oh, like I'm gonna take you to a quick lunch. Like, let's just go have lunch. I'm gonna like just take you to a quick lunch. I would keep this on and I would go with him. If I have to go do something with him that's going to be like with his clients, I'm going to wear something a little more smart casual. I'm probably going to put on a skirt. I'm probably going to look a little, more polished. I'm probably going to well, my hair's okay, but I will do something that's going to make me look a little more polished. So it depends on what I'm going to do and also my style. So whatever your body shape is matters as well. So because you want your clothes to complement you, but you want to like keep things like either you want to be like smart casual to formal. So that's your basis. So even if you're working out, you want to get clothes that look good for what you're doing. So workout clothes, I'm not telling you guys to spend an arm and a leg on them. I love Aloe. I just started getting into Lululemon, but there are so many great like dupes on Amazon that are just as good quality and just as good. So that's really great for workout clothes. For the casual everyday clothes, you can obviously go to the normal fast fashion spots like Zara, H&M, and like those stuff, or you can like do a little more high end. I love Banana Republic. They usually have the style that I go for, and it's just a little more expensive, but it is better quality. Like I just bought a cashmere sweater from Banana Republic for like $70, and it's 100% cashmere. Like you can find what goes for you, but I would say like when you're going on dates with men, you want to look sexy but not slutty, if that makes sense. So you want to wear clothes that's not for the club but for a date. So you want to wear like a nice cocktail dress, not a club spandex dress. You don't want to wear a formal outfit. You don't want to look like you're going to a ball, but you want to look like, oh, this is just a cocktail dress so we can get food and dinner and stuff like that. You can also check out, like it depends on your body shape, but like House of CB has great dresses. Like I love their like more romantic style dresses. I think those are really pretty for going on dates and stuff like that. But again, it depends on your style, and yeah, you can figure it out from there. But always think classy and elegant. You never want to be too much. Like if you are going to have like a little cleavage or anything like that, you don't want to be too much. You don't want to be doing too much. You want to look elegant, because that's what's gonna like get them, especially when you're dating serious men. Because with my husband, he's a lot more like in the community, public, goes to fundraisers and events and stuff like that. So I have to show up by his side always, and I have to wear more elegant clothes, which I already do, but like I have to look like beautifully put together, right? And have a classic look and all that stuff. So I dress more like that because that's the circles I'm in. And most men who are successful are in those same circles. So they want to make sure that like if they take you to a nicer place, that you're not going to show up in like a club dress. So just think of that. I hope that helps. I know I was rambling. How do you feel about coffee dates for the first time? No, never, ever, ever, never. I have a whole video about it. I know people hate this, but like no coffee dates ever. Coffee dates are not acceptable. Like, point blank, period. Would never tell you to go on a coffee date with a guy, because when you go to coffee, what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and you're going to yap and you're going to talk about all of your business and all of the things that this guy does not need to know about you, because you have nothing there but coffee, and he's there to get to know you. It is the cheapest date. It's a waste of your time, because that is just going to give you a false sense of, oh my God, we know each other, we're connecting. And where does that lead? To the bedroom. Men are very smart when they first of all, men who offer coffee dates want to sleep with you for the least amount of money, because they know they can manipulate you. That is the same way when men sit on the phone and they try to get all the information from you, is because they know you will tell all your business and gain this false sense of, oh my God, we know each other, we're connected to one another. I can be with this guy, I can sleep with this guy. Do not fall for it. A proper date is going to dinner, going to get a meal together. He needs to be able to feed you. That's the first initiation to him being showing a little bit of him being a provider. And most men want to do that to show you that they can afford to, provide for you. And the most basic thing they can do is feed you. So that's why they always offer to take you on a date, because they want to feed you. They want to show that they can do something, that is necessary in your life. A coffee is not necessary. A meal is necessary. So never accept a coffee date. Another thing is, a coffee date is way too intimate. A lot of people think that dinner or going out to dinner is an intimate thing. Coffee is way more intimate. Like I said, you are going to be yapping. You are going to be telling all of your business, because you have nothing else but coffee sitting in front of you. And what do? You're going to drink, you're going to talk, because you can't sit there silently, and you don't know this person. So now you got to tell them everything about you and them too. So it's very, very intimate. When you go to dinner, if you go to a nice enough place, you barely, honestly, like, my husband always hates this, but like, if you go to a nice enough restaurant, the wait staff is on you. They will, are you ready to order? Do you need anything else? Can I refill your drink? Can I think, like, you don't have a moment to have any kind of deep conversation, because someone's always coming to, get your every need taken care of. If you have a dirty plate real quick, they'll come and grab it. If your glass is like a little empty, they'll come and refill it. When you're on dates, you have people around you to be your buffers, so you don't get into too deep of a conversation where you're killing all the mystery about yourself. No, you have the ambiance, you have the wait staff, you have people looking out for you. And also with the wait staff, they are watching you and they are making sure, like, this guy is not creeping you out, this guy is not doing anything shady. People are watching you and also protecting you as a woman, and you want that public space. When you go into a coffee shop, after they give you your coffee, they don't care about nothing that's going on over there. This guy can be terrorizing you. He can be doing anything to you. So, like, I would definitely say that is too intimate. And the last thing, even with coffee, is like, coffee is something that is initiated after dinner. That is always, if you go to dinner enough, after your dinner, they always ask you, do you want a coffee? Do you want espresso? Do you want some dessert? That is something you do to extend the date. That is something to show, like, I'm really interested in you. I want to talk to you a little bit longer. Do you want to, like, get a coffee, get some dessert? Do you want to go somewhere else for a dessert? That is how you make the date a little more intimate, especially if you like one another. He's going to initiate that. That is not something you do first. That is too intimate to do first. I know this was long, but I feel like I had to say it, because I think people have the wrong idea of what coffee is. They think that, oh no, it's 5 minutes, it's quick, and stuff like that. You will blab and tell your whole life, and this man has no way of showing you if he's a provider, if he even likes you. Because most men, if they like you, they will not offer you coffee. They will try to take you to dinner. They will try to impress you. They will pull out all the stops just to show, hey, I'm a man that is interested in you. Pay attention. That is what men do. They are not going to lowball it. They're not going to, just act like, I don't know about you. Like, of course they don't know about you, but what they do know is that they are interested and they want to sleep with you. So they are going to try their hardest and they are going to offer you anything they possibly can to get that. Now, if a man can't afford dinner, then you shouldn't be talking to him anyways. If he's like, oh, like I'm not going to spend any money on her, then you don't need to be talking to him anyways. All right, that was a lot, but I had to say it. I would love tips on befriending other women in this lifestyle too. My friends aren't really leveled up and I want to make new friends, but I get in my head and how they treat others or me. The okay, so the thing with friends is you have to be so it's sometimes you're just not going to get the friends like that. Like I don't have that many friends who are into the same lifestyle or live the same lifestyle as me. I just have my sister, and me and my sister are best friends. And so we get to live our lifestyle together because I mean, I have a default best friend. It's my sister. And my other friends, they don't necessarily live the lifestyle as me, but they also live similar lifestyles. Like they like the same things as me. We have similarities, but we're not all the same. And I respect that about them. Like I have women who are attorneys themselves and they're good friends, and me and my husband go to dinner with them and their husbands, and you know, we have like the same interests. We like to do the same things. They're blondes, they're baddies, and I love them for that. Like they don't have to be on the same level. Now, if you're dealing with like friends that are just like not leveled up at all or anything like that, like not necessarily, not just like not living your lifestyle, but like they're just like not leveled up, not interested in it, like they don't want to look good or anything like that. Being alone is actually best. And then doing things that you like I said, if you do activities like Pilates, like even going to the gym, like you will start to meet people who go there often, and you will say hi to one another and you will have little casual conversations and you will build up friendships. But as you get older, like friends, they're for situations. Like with my husband, he doesn't have like, oh, a big guy group of friends, right? He's like, I'm older, I don't do that. Like I have friends for each thing that I do. Like he has his baseball friends, he has his business friends, he has his, it's not like, oh, we have friends that do everything with one another. So I think as you get older, you just kind of categorize people. Like I have gym friends, like people that go to my gym that I'm friends with them. We go to the gym, but it doesn't extend further than that. I have friends that, are just, dinner friends that we go to dinner with. We have friends that are just business friends, that this is, a business relationship and we refer and stuff like that. So a lot of the time when you get older, it's not like the same like friendships that we grew up with. They're pretty much different, but as you grow more into yourself and your interests, you will gain friends in that circle. I hope that makes sense. Wow, I've been here for a while. I have to go soon because I didn't even eat today and I'm hungry. I have no idea what they want to talk about on the phone before the first date. Yeah, they're it's annoying. I remember that. I used to get annoyed too. Like, stop calling. Are women in this lifestyle easier to gauge than men in this lifestyle? It depends. Women, it depends because everybody is so different, and women in this like say in my lifestyle, who's like a housewife and stuff like that, and married to like successful men and stuff like that, not every woman that's living this lifestyle is the same like as me, right? Some women, they are like, because I don't have children yet, so I don't have like, oh, I'm a PTA mom and I take my kids to this and I do this with my kids, or have that kind of lifestyle. So I'm like, no, I'm like just a housewife. It's just me and my husband right now, right, in our house. So basically it's basically like, sorry, I had something come up. So it's basically like there's different women who are living the same lifestyle but in different kind of ways. There are women who um are more housewives and there are homemakers. There are women who are, they live at home, they're not working, their husbands are working, and they're homemakers and they cook every day, they clean, they are about their home, they're about, that kind of lifestyle. And I get that. Like, I'm sometimes like that too. But being that I am the only cook in my house, I'm not cooking every day, right? I'm not cleaning every day. Those things need to be like outsourced. We have a cleaner, we have we'll go out to eat, because I'm not in my full homemaker, like I, do chores in my house and this and that. That's a different type of lifestyle. But people think, well, you both are at home, right? You're both housewives, right? But it's like, yeah, but we have different lifestyles. We have different things that we want to do. So it's different, because everybody has a different personality and different things that they're into. It's hard to gauge. It's just gonna be like, sometimes you can just go and do the things that you like, and a person could be like a boss babe, and like you align with that person because they're just leveled up, and they're aligned with you more than the woman who is a homemaker. So I hope that makes sense. Just focus on the things that you enjoy doing, and you will naturally attract the people who are your people, because you're being authentically who you are, and you're just gonna get more people who are authentic as well. So if you just do that, you'll be fine. Usually they want to schedule a call before a first date, but yeah, sounds good. Yeah, if you want to call me, it's gonna be quick. Like, hi, I'm in the middle of something. Like, always be in a rush in the middle of something. You only got like a quick little minute. You stepped away from something, so then they know they have to do this. And yeah, put on your cute voice. Obviously, you want to like seduce them on the phone. You want to sound like, oh hi. But I'm not here to chat all day, so what's up? In my head, I'm mentally preparing for wax. Okay. Um, what about drinks on dates, like cocktails? So I don't drink, as you guys know. So I will order a mocktail because I don't drink. But when I did drink, I always ordered champagne or wine. And usually they would just get the bottle, because they're like, I'm not going to have you drinking champagne alone. Or like, you're going to drink wine, I'll, get a wine. And it's usually like safe, because I am not a big, like, I could not ever, like, I was never a good drinker. I would always get sick. But what would make me really sick is cocktails, because the sugar and juice and alcohol did not mix for me. So I just stayed away from cocktails, because that would make me sick because of the sugar and the alcohol. So I always just stuck with champagne or wine. And it's also very elegant, and usually they will just buy the bottle, because they're not going to have you drinking wine alone or champagne alone. So they'll just like, oh yes, we'll just get the bottle or whatever. But I think that's really elegant. You don't want to drink any hard liquor, because you don't want to get drunk in any kind of way. So I would stick with the neutrals, where it's wine or champagne. In my case, if you don't drink, a cute mocktail is always preferred. That way, kind of looks like you're drinking, but he knows it's the mocktail, and yeah, it's cute. That's what I would suggest. What do you think about accepting dates where a man teaches you something like pickleball or golf if they are actually good at it, like a free lesson? That's perfect. That's fun, because you know why? You can wear something cute. He can teach you something. He's not going to get mad at you if you mess up, because he's trying to impress you. And then you guys will eat after. That's a cute date. Like, that's something I like. That's something me and my husband do. And we go on like these, little, and that's another thing. A lot of the time, that's not the whole date. That is like the beginning of the date. And so he's trying that's like a plan for a longer date. He's like, we'll go play, and then we'll go eat, and then like we'll walk a little. Like, he's trying to like have like more of a longer date with you, so that way you can learn how to play the game, and also make yourself look cute. You can go in your cute little dress or your skirt, your little hat or your visor, and you just play the game. And if you like it enough, he will take you, buy you clubs, and pay for your tea times. So I'm all for that. Did you become your husband's girlfriend at any point? I know your relationship went a little different with him starting to provide for you right away. Um, yeah, I think well, I was I technically was his girlfriend. In the beginning, I just kind of never used the term. But he did ask me to be with me on the first date. And then by the second time I saw him, I just like accepted because he asked again. And I was like, okay, fine. Cause like it was like nothing to me. Like, we'll see what happens. Because I had guys like ask to be my boyfriend before. And then it's like, okay, sure, let's see how this works out. So I didn't really care. But then he like, obviously was like doing so much. And then he asked me to marry him. So but I was, and it wasn't like I was holding the title like, oh my God, yes, I'm his girlfriend. It was like, okay, we'll see. Like, we'll see what happens. Like, sure, if that's going to make you feel more comfortable, right? So I would agree to that if they were like saying like, do you want to be, but the whole providing thing, guys will do it in certain different types of ways. So the guy I was dating before my husband, who I was with for the surgeon, most of you guys will know who he is. He started providing for me before I was his girlfriend. And it was after the first date, I briefly talked about uh Apple TV. I think I tell you guys the story. And I was like, oh yeah, I want one or whatever. And then, just kind of, it was a passing conversation at dinner. The next day he's like, oh, go, like, hey, I got you the Apple TV we spoke about. It's at Best Buy. Like, go pick it up. It's in your name. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. Like, that's nice. And then I said to him that I needed a new phone. And then he did the same thing. He bought the phone and he was like, it's this place. Like, you can go pick it up. Like, he didn't have like that much time because he's a surgeon. He was on call. Like, he is, I don't know, a very busy man. And he would get me things like all the time. Some men are just like that and they'll just start giving to you. And he would just go all out. Like, anything you need, he's like always like, if you need anything, just let me know. I will get it for you. Right. Because he knew, like, obviously I was younger than him at the time that I met him. I think he's about like 20 to 23 years older than me. And it's so crazy because when I first started talking to him, like, clearly he was older than me. I didn't even calculate how much older because I didn't care, because like, I was like, I just didn't care about age gaps. Like, I'm a sucker for an age gap. I love that my husband's older than me. I love dating older guys because I like being the younger woman, right? I like being young. I like being the one you take care of. So it's kind of like when you date older guys, they automatically like start to give to you because you're young. Like, of course you need things. Like, you're young, you're a woman. They know women enough now because they're older that they know, like, I'm going to have to give her some money. I'm going to have to take care of her. I'm going to have to give her a gift. Like, they know women. They've been around longer. They're not like younger guys that like are learning women. These guys already know you want things, you want gifts, you want, so it's a little easier. What do guys do early in the relationship that are good signs of a provider? How fast should a man provide on average? I know everyone is different. Yeah, so like I said, some guys will do it like quick, like with the quickness, with no problem. Some guys you have to act like, so with my husband, I'll just talk about him. It was pretty instant. I kind of knew because he well, after we met, when we went on the date, he came and he brought flowers, right? I didn't ask him to bring me flowers. He did that. He like initiated that, like, I'm going to come not empty handed. I'm going to bring you something. When he came again to me the next day, he had like, the dinner was like expensive the first night, and then we went dancing again, and so he had to pay for us to get in and do that. So he was already spending like hundreds of dollars. The next day we went to dinner again. It was a nice dinner. The next day he was already talking about taking me to check out San Francisco and stuff like that. And then he planned a date for us to go to like this botanical garden thing, and like he bought me a dress for. So like a lot of the things he was doing was already like initiating, like, I'm a provider. I'm the man for you. I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to do all of this. And he just automatically started doing them. And when I would ask for, well, I would tell him about certain things, he would just do it. A way to figure it out is always going to be like, there was this one guy that I dated, um, practically like right before, like it was during COVID. And I kind of talk about this story a little bit, but this guy, the one that I was telling you guys about, that's the partner at this big law firm in downtown. He actually, I didn't know if he was a provider because he was only, I think, about like 3 to 4 years older than me. So I wasn't really sure about him. I knew he really liked me because he like kind of let me know that he had seen me before, and I met him online, but he was like, I've seen you before, like downtown, like, and I was like, I don't live downtown. He's like, no, but you work downtown, like I remember that. And I was like, dang, I don't remember you at all. But he's like, yeah, whatever. But I knew that he liked me a lot, like just because of the interaction, the way he was, like, just like, I knew he liked me a lot. And I was just like unsure because he was so close to my age, and I was like, okay, let's see how this works out. I knew he had a great job. I knew all of that, but I was like, let's see where his generosity is. So I just, like, after the first week, I think we went on one date. The next week he wanted to hang out again. And I just told him, like, I was like, oh, like my tire, like, blew out. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, the people are coming to fix it. It's like about $300, but now I think I might have to get another one too. And like, I don't even have the money, and they're about to come. And then he's like, oh, like, what's your thing? I'll send you the money. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he sent me the money, and I was like, oh, okay, great. And then as I was dating him more and more, like, I would go to dinners with him with my friends, and he would like pay for the whole dinner. He would buy me gifts, take me on trips. So that's the thing. Like, sometimes you just kind of throw something in there to see, like, for real, like, other than dinner and stuff. Like, you can like throw a damsel in distress story. And if they bite at it, obviously you want to make it like just like a couple $100s. You don't want it to be like 1,000 or something, because if like, it's still like a damsel in distress, it has to be like something realistic. So I just said like the tire trick. And that usually will let you know, like, okay, he's a provider. And that way you can, like, use it from there. How early in the relationship is appropriate to suggest investments? Um, you don't, it's not it's like the vibe. There's not really like a suggestion of time. It's just like the vibe that you guys are in, and what have you been talking to him about? Like, what do you mean by investment? Like, do you mean like paying for your lifestyle? Like, if that's the case, then that's something you can talk. It depends on where you're at. If you're like, I need a sugar daddy, then that's something you could talk about like instantly, because this guy will already be older. He would see a younger, beautiful woman. He already knows the deal. If you're looking for just a man who you're with to start providing for you, then you could just start pushing responsibilities onto him, where you're like, oh, this needs to be taken care of, like stuff like that. And then he will just start taking care of it. Like, I think it's like you just kind of push on the responsibility onto him, and then he'll just take it because he's with you. And that's pretty much like the vibe that you give, where it's like, oh, it's automatic. So as long as like you feel like he likes you that much, like that he's like really, really into you, you can start just like pushing responsibilities on him, and he'll start taking it. But it's all depends on your vibe. And that's why it's good to like intrigue him, so he can feel like, oh, she's not some bimbo who's asking me for things. It's like, oh no, she's like an intelligent woman. Like I said, a lot of men really, really like to invest in women who they can believe in, and who they think are intelligent, and who they think are like fascinating and intriguing, more than a woman who they say, oh, she's dull and a bimbo, and like less intriguing. So what I mean by that is, like, if he thinks, like I was saying about the yoga thing, is like, if he sees you and is like, oh, she's so passionate about this, but like her finances are not like her passion or anything like that. Like she doesn't have the greatest job. I'm going to help her. I'm going to take care of her because he's like, you have a different passion. It's not necessarily for that. And he can afford it. Most men can. So I think it's important for you to just like choose wisely and make sure the guy really likes you more than you even like him, like even, and like that he's willing to give you anything and you practically can get whatever you want out of him. Also, how do you feel about guys not sending good morning texts? It's what I'm used to, so it's weird not getting this treatment. Thoughts? I don't really care about good morning texts. I mean, again, I haven't been in the game that long where I'm getting like good morning texts. Um, yeah, I don't really care about good morning texts. It's just like a filler so they can talk to you. It's more about because if a guy's really busy, I don't think he has the time. Like if he's a surgeon or if he's this or that, he's not gonna like sit there and good morning you to death, like say a broke guy, right? If a brokey is talking to you, he can good morning you to death because he has nothing else going on. But most wealthy man who has a lot of going on, he's not gonna good morning you to death. He's going to make sure he can see you. And once you guys have the plan, he'll check in a little bit, but then he'll just see you. So I wouldn't be too worried about that because that doesn't mean anything, essentially, to me. I don't think so. What about mocktails? Yeah, cocktails are harsh on me as well. Yeah, mocktails, yes. If you don't drink mocktails, superb. Oh, yeah, you just said it. Never mind. Oh, yeah. On dating apps, would you suggest sending them all the same message to preserve time and energy or responding to individual pops? Um, what do you mean? Well, usually they're gonna be sending you a message, so you would just respond how you would just read the message and respond to it the way that they're asking you. I don't believe in you like messaging men first, so there would be no reason for you to send out anything first because they would be initiating the conversation and you would just respond to the conversation appropriately. So yeah. It would be individualized because not everybody's going to say the same thing to you and you wouldn't be writing them first anyways. So yeah. If a guy suggests to only take you out for drinks, what would you accept? I would say, "Oh, I don't drink on an empty stomach." I would say something like that. Or like for me, I would be like, "I don't drink." But I would say, "Oh, I wouldn't drink on an empty stomach." Is dinner coming with that drink or something like that, like you would say something like that and usually he would be like, oh yeah, of course. Like most men if they like you enough, they want you to go to dinner with them. They want to spend time with you, especially if they think like you're hot and you're gonna look good. They want to spend more time with you. They will throw drinks or coffee just as like something casual that people say, but they would love to have dinner. But if you shut down like, oh no, I don't drink coffee or I don't drink on an empty stomach, they will say, "Oh, let's go to dinner." Like, "I would love to take you to dinner." Like, "Yes, please." So, it's I almost don't take them serious when they would say that. I would just say like what I really want to do because you never do anything you don't actually want to do. Like, if you want to go to dinner, say you want to go to like make it clear that like coffee is not going to cut it. And if he doesn't come to the conclusion and take you to dinner, or he has like, oh, I don't take women to dinner, then okay, you're not hanging out with me. Like that's not going to happen. Then we don't align on the most basic thing about feeding me. Like if you are having a hard time with giving me a meal to eat, why would I even date you? That's the biggest thing right there. If you cannot feed me the most basic thing, the thing that we as humans need, we as creatures on this earth, every single one of us needs food. That is the basic level providing is being able to feed me. If you cannot do that and you can only give me poison as alcohol, that's poison. You can only poison me and then give me caffeine, which is addictive. that's the only thing you can offer me, then clearly you are not the man for me. Clearly you are not my provider. So yes, I would definitely just say I do not drink on an empty stomach. And then he will say, I would love to take you to dinner, of course. Did you pray, manifest your husband? Are you spiritual? If so, do you talk to your husband about such subjects? Yes, I am very spiritual. Okay, I'm gonna turn back the fan and then hold on. Somebody real quick. Hold on. Hold on. I need to have these things closer. Okay. So I am spiritual. Very much so. So when I turned 30, I decided that I was going to make a change in my life. Actually, when I was 29, I knew this change was coming. I knew that this was the final decade of my 20s. So I was very serious about kind of cleaning things up. And 2020 had just happened. So I was 29 when it was 2020. And so we were on lockdown. So I had a lot of time to think to myself. I was dating someone at the time, but I wasn't that interested in him because I was also with the person that I was kind of ending things with, but it was very unclear. So I just had like a lot of time to myself. And on my 30th birthday, which was 2021, and my birthday is in January, so it was the beginning of the year. The guy that I was with for a while that I didn't know where it was going to end up, he was supposed to take me to Tulum for my birthday, and he ended up having to cancel because he had to work. Again, this was the surgeon, so I was kind of used to that with him, which I was really tired of. And so, like he always did, he would send someone else in his place, which was usually my sister. So he would, like, get us the flights and the hotel and take care of everything, of course, and send my sister in his place to vacations and stuff. And I was used to this because he would do this a lot. And when I was on this vacation, I knew that on that vacation, I knew I wanted something different, that now I was 30, that I was ready to become a different woman. And this woman was going to be married. I was going to have a family. I was going to have children. And I was ready to step into that role. And so while I was there, I do a lot of manifesting in the water. I love the ocean. I live by the ocean. So I'm constantly connecting with water and speaking with the water. And so I spoke with the water and connected with the water and just kind of put my intentions out there. I journaled. That was just like such a deep time for me and even my sister. And I manifested, and I just knew from that point that I was going to get what I wanted because I was just so clear. And in Tulum, like where we were staying, we stay at this boutique hotel. You can kind of see it. It's in my vlog. It's in one of the vlogs, but I stay at the same hotel. It's what's it called? Coco Unlimited. It's a boutique hotel directly on the beach in Tulum, and like one of the best spots. But it's very, like, if you ever been to Tulum, like it's not like America. It's very like second world. It's you're like very like much like living like the locals to an extent. Obviously it's a more luxurious hotel, but it's like there's no TVs in the room, like the Wi-Fi sketchy, like there's sand everywhere, like you're on the beach, you're living on the beach in like these kind of luxury hut type style things. And so I was very much so like grounded, and I was connected spiritually with everything. Like the stars at night were like a million, and it was just like I was just speaking my life into existence. And so after that trip, like I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew I was going to meet my husband. I knew what I wanted. And then I started, like, I came back, I ended things with him, and then I started dating again. I was like, okay, well, I was always dating, right? Because we were together, but we were like off and on. So I was dating someone else. That guy, I ended things with him. I already told you guys kind of what happened with that other guy, where, he told me like he had a gift for me, and then I went to go get the gift. It was a diamond necklace, and then I found out he had another girl moved in, and I was like, why did you even get me a gift? Why did you bring me here to show me that you had another girl here? And it was like so weird, but whatever. I ended things with him too, because I didn't even care about that guy. He was just like a filler for the actual guy that I was with. So I ended things with both of them, and then I started dating this other guy. He was a COO of a hospital, and I thought he was great. We dated for like a couple of months, and then I was like, this is not, I don't think, like, we just drifted apart eventually. And then I started dating another guy, and then other people I was just going on dates with. And then I met my husband, and I had a date with one guy. The next day was my husband, and then another guy was the next day. And then once I went on the date with my husband, it just, it just stuck. And then I dated the other guy for that. I went on the date with the other guy, and then that same night I went on another date with my husband, and then was with my husband ever since then. So that's basically my manifesting story. Because when I met my husband, I knew he was the guy, not necessarily like instantly, but I knew that I liked him enough because I didn't get tired of him. Because usually when I hang out with guys and I'm with them, sometimes I get like, I don't want to be around them that long. Like, I can only be around you for so long before I want to like get into my own space. And with my husband, like, I never felt that. Like, even still to this day, like, I don't get tired of him. Like, I like his energy. Even if we're around each other and we're not speaking, we're just like doing our own thing. I like that energy, and that's what he likes from me too. Like, that we just like our energies being around each other. So once I realized like, oh, this guy is serious. He's exact, like, when I tell you, I can read back my journal of what, because I wrote about the guy that I was going to marry and what he would be like and who he was. He is my husband to a T. It's so insane. I'm like, I can like literally read this and say I freaking manifested you. And so yeah, and it ended up being him. And I lucked out because I was not caring about looks or anything like that. I didn't care about anything like that. And I got this like guy who, that's I'm looking for a man in finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes. I'm like, wait, that's my husband. Like, wait. I think he's like 6'2", though. He's not 6'5". And he works around finance. Obviously, he's more the legal side of finance, and he definitely has a trust fund, and he has blue eyes. So, but yeah, he ended up being great. So that's basically how I manifested them. I know, long story. Sorry. Poison. Yeah. It is poison. It is poison. Please use it. Tell them. Gives Tamar Braxton smells of lies. Tricking. What? What do you mean Tamar Braxton? Oh, I love this story. Yeah. You have such a beautiful spirit. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yes. Ask your hubby what he thinks of the busted tire trick. Um, my husband, my husband is so funny because he he agrees with like almost everything I say about dating. He thinks women should like definitely get more out of men. He definitely thinks that ask for what you want, like you deserve it. Like he believes in women like knowing their worth. So if you have to say something to see what a guy is about, he would be like, all right, cool, whatever. I didn't necessarily have to do it with him because he just like kind of took control and took care of everything. And I didn't have to like kind of trick him into asking him for anything because he was already giving. So there were some men in my life who just gave without any trick. And then some, like I had to say something and then I said, oh, okay, they can stick around. So My husband, I mean, if I told him that, he would be like, "Oh, how'd it turn out? Like, did she get anything? Did she not? Like, is he like generous?" He's all for it. As long as you know your worth, that's all he cares about. Because we want to have children, and he wants to have girls. I want girls, he wants girls, and I mean, if we have a boy, of course, that's fine. But he's like, I'm gonna spoil these girls. I'm gonna give them everything they want. Like, yeah, they're gonna be little princesses, right? And we talk about this a lot because when we go to like airports and stuff, he's always taking my bags, and I'm like always just have my purse and I'm walking through. And he's like, I could imagine when we have little girls and I'm holding everybody's bags and you guys are just lottie-dotting through the through the thing. So my husband's all for, like, he's very much in his masculine energy, and he has no problem with women being feminine and wanting things from him. I think he feels useful. That's why he gives back to the community. He's just that kind of person. So no, he does not have an issue. 6'2", that's close. It's close enough, girl. It's close enough. I would have took him at any height, but he just happened to be in the 6 feet era, 6'2". Thank you for sharing and all the answers and stories. Thank you. Love that. What are you fitting? What are some fitting careers and jobs and hobbies to meet potentials? So for careers, like if you have, I mean, technically any career that puts you in front of like men, if you are like a career woman, period, like that is your and I have to go soon. So this will be like the last set of questions because it's already 2 hours. And guys, I am so starving. It's insane. But any career can really work if you work around like certain men, but like a easy career that people don't think, like you can do a lot of like people don't even think, like I used to bartend, and this is not a career, this is just like a job. I used to bartend. I met so many men bartending, like successful men bartending. It was like insane. Like when I first moved here, I bartended because that was like I wanted to meet people, and it was like, oh, just be a bartender. And I was like, all right, cool. Because when I lived in Boston, I was in university, but I also had a regular job, but I also worked as a bottle service girl. So I was always like in the scene because I just wanted to meet people and I wanted to like have more experiences. And so I bartended here, and I bartended first at a golf course actually. And I met this guy like probably a week in, like from moving here. And like he was like, I don't know, 60 or something like that. And he just like took me under his wing. He took me everywhere, took me shopping and stuff. Like nothing ever happened with him, but he just like felt the need to like, I don't know, just like be there for me and take care of me and like buy me stuff and give me money and stuff like that. Cause he's like, you just moved here, you're young, you're bartending, like you're beautiful. Let me give to you, let me be there to you. So that is like a low key job that like you can get that will put you in front of a bunch of guys like instantly, because they're always gonna you're the bartender. They're gonna talk to you. And if you obviously you come in, you look beautiful, that is like they're in and they feel like they can easily talk to you because you're the bartender. So that is like an easy little thing that you can do if you just wanted to do something like that. But like careers, that you will meet the guys that you can date. I mean, you can kind of go into like a lot of these male dominated careers and date the guys who are higher up in the company just by simply being feminine, and also like just kind of being cool with the guys and getting to know them a little more and letting them know, like, this is not your end all be all. Like you would love to be with someone, and like, like your passion is different. Like you can figure it out, but like I would date someone who's like higher up in the company than me. And that would be easier. And then hobbies, we already kind of talked about that, but if you want to meet men, like I said, golf is great, tennis, country clubs, um really anything that guys do that is unisex but more male dominated. So like I said, like with golf, I play golf a lot. It's obviously unisex, anybody can play it, but it's very male dominated. So I would go with something like that and it should work. it's not for you, don't worry. Right. Everyone gets to have what they want. If you want something different, that's fine, but don't knock so exactly. Accidentally deleted my response. Yeah, I love that too. Okay, girls, I have to wrap this up because, like I said, I said I would do some book recs. So, off topic, this is just something that Love Prevails ass. And like I said, I read like 6 books this summer, clearly obsessed with romance novels. So me, I'm a spicy romance novel type of girl. Okay. I'm gonna need some spice into it. So if I'm gonna read it and it's gonna be some romance, like it needs to be spicy. I love an age gap. I love a little taboo. So there's a couple books that I don't want to scare you ladies, but I'll tell you because you asked. So Credence by Penelope Douglas. Insane. Spice level 10. There's an age gap. There's some funny things in that book, but that's a good one. I would say Simone, let me see. Sierra Simone's Priest trilogy. I only read 2. The third one, I wasn't really interested in it. But the first one is Priest. That one is not an age gap. That one is just an interesting one. And the other one, Sinner, that one is an age gap. And that one is, yeah. Another one, Wanting Mr. Kane. Guys, these are like very spicy. These are if you are into the spice. Yes. I'm looking over here because my books are all over here. Always Been You by QB Tyler. Age gap and very, very spicy. Which one is not so spicy? I don't have any not so spicy ones, but like I have like some of the gothic novels I read The Witcher. There's another one that's not that spicy, but I'm gonna read it next. It's not that spicy. It was another one, Inheritance Game, and this one, there's a little bit of a. I don't think it's a wide choose. I think the person has to choose who they're gonna be with. But 2 of the guys want her in this one, but it's not necessarily like a spicy love novel. But that's just a couple. I can obviously give you more in the next video. But yeah, that's all I have. So thank you so much for asking about that. Yeah. Here for the spice, adding them to Amazon wishlist that you're giving. Girl, do not, when you read them, you're gonna be like, this girl, I'm embarrassed. Anyway, yeah, so I love reading romance novels because it's just like, it's a fantasy. So if you're into that, I mean, yeah, check it out. Yeah, so make sure you guys like and comment and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. This ended up being very, very long. I didn't expect it to be, but I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, asking questions, and yeah, thank you so much for being here. If you want to reach me for a one-on-one, you can always message me, email me. I think it's down in the description. If you want to learn more about the feminine way to date online, I have a course. It's also in the description. So check it out. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.